Hello, everyone. I am a believer. I believe in love. That's something I'm going to tell you today through a story from myself and many others. Mm, One may think maybe once upon a time I was dipped in a pond of love and that made me the person I'm today. But I would rather think that we are all somehow great stories of our own lives, and there are so many things we can actually learn, or we can be taught things we never thought of. Today, I would like to tell you about my story, but also the fact that I have started to believe in my life, which is that in anywhere, in education or in life, love can actually be taught. How can you teach love? Somebody would tell me it's crazy. Love is an emotion, something we just happily encounter somewhere in our lives if we are lucky. Um, Let me say, I think it's not that simple. All of us have met many situations where we have seen hate being taught. You would accept that easily. If I tell you that I see hate being taught outside this building, in the United States, in Great Britain, anywhere, you would say, yeah, that probably is the case. And if I would ask you if it's easy to teach somebody to hate, you probably said, yeah, that's quite easy too, thinking about the world we live in today. If I would ask you, can love be taught? You might easily say, nah, I don't know. And you definitely would at least think it's very difficult, if possible. I will agree with you there. I don't think it's easy to teach love or to learn love, but I think it's possible. Let's go a little bit to look at love, because you might be thinking about right now, what does he mean by love? Love is a very abstract thing we understand personally and differently. Um, I help myself with understanding love, saying to myself that I search from the history how love has been defined. And if I, for instance, think about the Greek philosophers long time ago who were able to make certain categories in love, you will find there such words as philia, which is friendship, pathos, which is passion, more or less. And you will also find erota, which is the thing we mostly think about as very romantic love. We often feel it happily in life as well. And then there's also agape, which is the love I mostly talk to you about today. That kind of love is reachable for all of us because it's love. You don't expect to get a return form or way. You just can give it and live with it. Um, Agape is probably the type of love you will find in religion or in a philosopher's text because it's love in its purest defined form. I'm an educator. My name is Niina. And I think I am by accident an educator. It wasn't my first choice to become. But somehow life brings us lesson all the way along. And that's why we'll start looking at my story from my life. And you will understand why I am here today. In the picture, you will see me as a very young child and with a person who's holding me quite kindly. And that person is not my mother. This is a person I have never met after these few months again in my life, but she has played a very important role what had happened to me just before this picture has been taken. Often tragedies change our lives, and in this case too, one tragedy did change my family's entire concept. Just before this, maybe 1 month before this picture has been taken, I had been with my parents, luckily not with my siblings, but with my parents in a very severe car accident. And it destroyed my family as it was at that moment for a long time. And for instance, I got to know my own mom because she got severely injured only when I was a teenage properly. She was so severely damaged in that accident. So my family changed, everything changed. I was so young that I hardly remember why and what happened, but I do remember this hug, this person, this feeling, as I do remember the accident. Those are my first memories. We all probably have memories connected to feelings. That's what we usually do. Either we remember the awful ones or we remember the beautiful ones. Both of those, they stay very deep somewhere inside and create you the person you are slowly. I have a good memory here from a person I hardly know anything about. But as I have looked back, I'm certain that she was taking good care of me. She was the person who was paid to take care of me because my parents couldn't. And she was doing with kindness at heart. And she has left very kind marks into my heart. Later on, life goes on. You will have many experiences. We all do from school, from sports, friendships. All those are part of important things we do in life to grow up. Um, at some point, I started feeling that I have this kind of a quest for love. Probably because nowadays I realize I didn't have it the way I wanted when I was a young person. Somebody took it away. Life took it away from me. The accident took it away from me. I didn't have the life I probably could have had, as it often happens. And my quest for love took me abroad. Uh, I was looking for somebody to love, to do something different in my life. And I ended up living somewhere else in Europe, studying, uh, becoming a teacher actually, and working at the point as a teacher, my first position as an educator, finding it very important, being very young, and realizing that I was the person who could actually be making some changes in this world. From there, I will share you one very specific moment that changed my perspective towards what education is. You would find it probably strange, but strange things change us. I had one of my first classes ever. I was teaching them in a tongue that is not my mother tongue, so I was very conscious of my work. Um, the pupils I had, the students I had, were already almost adults, young adults, and something happened in the classroom. I made a mistake in understanding a situation what was taking place in front of me. I was very quick to respond. I accused a young man about something I found out later on he didn't do. We had a recess. I go back into the teacher's lounge and I discussed this matter with the peers inside the room. And I asked them, what should I do? I obviously made a bad mistake. I'm so new in this business. I really don't know what to do now. I accused him of doing something he didn't. And obviously now I should go inside and do something about it. We're having an Excel. Reminding you, it was a long time ago. My peers told me, especially in a country where authority is everything, that I should walk in and act as nothing happened. I did that. I walked into the classroom and acted like nothing has happened for about 2 minutes. But I had this conscious feeling that this is wrong. I felt we had lost something with the class. And so I said, let's stop. Let's I have something to discuss with you guys. And they were like, okay. I could sense that they were bothered about the situation. I said, look, guys, I am really sorry what I did. I have to ask forgiveness of this person and tell you that I made a mistake. And I'm really sorry. And would you like to discuss this with me now? We adults, we do make mistakes. Complete silence fell. I didn't hear a word. The expressions on their faces were really strange. And I realized, I said to myself, this is exactly what they told me not to do. Now I lost and all the authority I even slightly tiny bit had, and this is it. But in a few seconds, they all started smiling, talking to me, saying things I wouldn't believe. They absolutely changed the atmosphere into love, what I would call love. This classroom changed their attitude towards teaching, towards learning, and they actually were my guests at my wedding. And I realized that moment that becoming and being a teacher, educator, anywhere, with any skills you have, it's not about the things you pass on somebody, especially nowadays when the information false or real is all over the place. But it's about how you treat people, how you feel about them, and what you pass on to an individual, even when you ask for forgiveness or you realize you have made a mistake. That's taking us to another picture. I had there a word kindness on the previous one and now have changed it to love. From a moment I just described to you, I will take you a big step forward in my life. I'm a mom and I have 3 sons. I'm a very lucky person to have 3 sons. It's something I will always cherish. But I will take you to a moment in a metro in Helsinki city. You can see this is my son, my second born son here in the picture. He's wearing a t-shirt. There's this very simple metro rail we have here in Helsinki. It's not very complicated. You can see all the stations. It's easy to follow. We're in the metro with him. Daniel is our second born son, and he's severely autistic and disabled. And at this point when I take you back into the story, we're in the metro, and he's not anymore a tiny toddler, but he's a child with a lot of demands, a lot of noise, a lot of things going around him. I'm a mom, working mom. I'm working as an educator here in Finland, happily loving my job, loving many things in my life. But that moment in that metro train, I start realizing that I feel something I don't like. I feel bitterness, um, resentment, tired. Um, I have heard so many things about what Daniel is, what he isn't, what he can do, what he cannot do, what my life has become, what I do, that they are starting affecting my thinking and my attitude towards life. I was looking at him every Saturday. With him, I was traveling around Helsinki with this metro, taking a big part of my Saturdays. You know how weekends can be. Other parents are probably having coffees with their friends or taking their other children to football games, whatever. And I was often, almost every Saturday, in a metro train. And I started thinking on my own, I am not doing this full heartedly. I am not showing that I'm happy. I cannot recognize my love. I cannot recognize my love towards my son, towards myself, or towards anything. I probably still act quite okay. People are not worried about me, but something is wrong. So after that moment, I realized this thing that I'm telling you today about, that by recognizing first the kindness we have lived in our lives, the kindness given to us, we are able to give it to others. And by recognizing that through feeling kindness, you actually start feeling more strong about love. And by understanding that you can practice loving, you can really be practicing love further. So, what I started doing every Saturday and even other days, but especially on those Saturdays, I was teaching myself to enjoy the wonderful gift I had, that I could actually sit in this metro and travel towards whatever station it is in front of that day with my son, a special gift I was given. And by practicing this a long time, by the way, it didn't happen in few Saturdays, I started filling myself with warmth and gratefulness and understanding that all these tiny things we do in life affect so many other people, and my simple practicing of how I should feel actually creates something inside me. I told in the beginning that learning hate is easier. Learning love is much harder because it usually starts from understanding that you are not perfect, because I should have said that in the beginning already. This is not making you any better person. By loving others, by loving yourself, you are not turning into superhuman, and you're not turning into a person who doesn't make plentiful of mistakes. I can still be angry. Anybody can be angry. Anger is a good thing. It's always helping changes, movement towards something. But hate is a place that takes you slowly all together. So how I transformed into this idea that I have into my educational life or to lives where I am, wherever I go. I'm trying to preach about love being something that is actually yours to learn and yours to take and yours to give. Go and hug somebody who needs a hug, even though if you don't know that person. Talk kindly in the morning to a person you meet first, even though you don't have your best day, whatever. Because by building people to have positive kindness inside them as experience, they will give it to others. In Finnish, to say somebody, I love you, those words are massively huge. Minä rakastan sinua is so mouth-filling that we don't use it enough. We really keep it to ourselves or very close quarters. So you will not lose anything by telling people you love them. What does it mean to me as an educator at school, as a principal? There are many people who don't agree with me in this, but to me it's about giving diversity space, giving people the equal chance every morning. You did something wrong yesterday. Today starts with love. Wherever I go, I will say that because people do not have enough moments of kindness. They don't have enough moments of love. There are children, I have seen them, who have no memory of moments of kindness, those random acts of kindness. All of us can give those moments. So please join me, join the world, so join each other by thinking about it at least for a moment. Love can be practiced, and it shouldn't be about you and your family. It should be about everybody around you. I guarantee you, the world will look better. Thank you.